Part 25. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 241. The two girls sneaked to the door of Li Yuan's office, trying to listen to the noise inside. But they vaguely heard that Li Yuan was instructing Xiaozhi to make a payment in the office. Xiazheng, 5 days of overtime, basic salary 300 per day, overtime pay 4,500. Hu Zhenqiang, 5 days of overtime, basic salary 300 per day, overtime pay 4,500. Sun Wanmei, 2 days of overtime, basic salary 150 per day, overtime pay 900. Hey, she seems to be the one who works the least overtime in the company, and others have at least 3 days. What's wrong with this Sun Wanmei? She seems to be late often. Outside the door, Sun Wanmei was embarrassed and wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. She couldn't listen anymore, so she directly pulled Zhang Manman away. She was in a state of panic now, fearing that Li Yuan would have a bad impression of her and then fire her. She is still in the probation period. Within a month, she has been late for 3 days and asked for 2 days of leave. Well, Manman, I think Sister Lin is right. We are still young and it is time to struggle. We should work hard and refuse to slack off. In the office, Li Yuan was still tidying up his clothes. Xiaozhijin curled up in Li Yuan's arms shyly and obediently, staring at the office door from time to time, afraid that someone would knock on the door. Li Yuan smiled refreshedly. Zhijin, have you learned how to pay employees? Yes, I have learned it. Xiaozhijin nodded flusteredly, blinking her beautiful eyes. She couldn't understand how Li Yuan could teach her to operate the account while playing poker. Li Yuan wiped it with a wet wipe and smiled. He, Zhijin, when you have time, buy more wet wipes and tissues and put them in the office. You can use them often in the future. Yes, Xiaozhijin answered shyly, glanced at the trash can, squatted down quickly, and tied the trash bag tightly. If you are not careful and someone sees it, it will be too embarrassing. Li Yuan smiled and said, let's go, get off work, I'll take you home. After sending Xiaozhijin back to Jingxia Villa, Li Yuan looked at the messages on his phone. Except for Baiwixi, who sent a few messages asking what he was doing, there was no news from Zhong Tingyu and Zhang Ziyu. Lu Jia sent a strange message. Brother Yuan, are you in Shanghai? Are you free tonight? Let's have a drink together. I'll treat you. Li Yuan felt strange. Lucia, this old fool, would still think of treating people? Could it be that the sun was rising from the west? Li Yuan called back. The call was quickly connected, and Lucia's excited voice came from the other end of the phone. Brother Yuan, you finally answered the phone, where are you? Li Yuan laughed and scolded, busy, say what you want to say, fart quickly. Lucia was not angry, he laughed and said, Brother Yuan, there is a girls' dormitory that wants to have a party with our dormitory. Several brothers are here, only you are missing. Li Yuan was stunned and asked curiously, dormitory party, or the girls' dormitory proposed it, who has such a good vision? Sixth brother, hurry up and entertain them truthfully, who have you hooked up with again? Chapter 163. I am the man you can't get, the surprise prepared by my mother-in-law. Lucia listened to Li Yuan's inquiry, a little embarrassed, hesitant and unwilling to say it out loud. Li Yuan said speechlessly, sixth brother, what's there to be embarrassed about? You can't tell me that the party is for Wang Zhirong and her roommates, right? Lucia was shocked and blurted out, Brother Yuan, how did you know that they contacted you in advance? Tisk, with your shy look, who else could it be besides them? Li Yuan snorted coldly, knowing Lucia's thoughts clearly. This guy has said many times that he likes sexy and mature women. Wang Zhirong's figure and face are perfect for Lucia's aesthetics, sexy and mature, both. In the classroom that day, after he coldly and cruelly rejected Wang Zhirong, Lucia chased her out and there was a scandal with Wang Zhirong. Several people in the dormitory thought Lucia had succeeded directly, but who knew that Lucia was bragging, and he didn't even touch her hair, let alone kiss her. In the past half-month, Li Yuan heard from his roommates that Lucia was diligently acting as Wang Zhirong's licker, asking about her well-being every day, bringing breakfast, sending milk tea, buying snacks. The small treasury saved in high school was almost drained. Li Yuan really didn't feel anything for Wang Zhirong. It's not that he really has misophobia, as long as she is clean and beautiful, and not a biological mother. In his previous life, he was not very picky about food, and he didn't have such pure love. In this life, it's mainly because he already has Xia's Haijin, Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi, these school beauties, whose aesthetic threshold has been raised. He really doesn't like ordinary girls, unless they have a special status, like the instructor Chi Siyu. Li Yuan thought about the various welfare photos that Wang Zhirong sent him on time every day, and he really wanted to take them out and slap Lucia in the face. Mainly because I think it's good to let Lucia taste the saltiness and bitterness of love. With Lucia's eloquence, appearance, and financial ability, it's not easy to find a girl who is better and prettier than Wang Zhirong. Maybe, he can learn more driving skills from Wang Zhirong. Li Zhu cleared the random thoughts in his mind and said with a smile, "Sixth brother, I have other things to do tonight, so I won't go. You guys go, try to drink more and win as soon as possible." Lucia's face fell immediately and begged, "Brother Yuan, please don't, I have already promised them to help me, please give me face and help my brother once." Li Yuan smiled and scolded, "You, old man, when did you learn to act first and report later? I really have something to do tonight and have made an appointment with others. If I don't have anything, I will definitely go with you to meet these female demons in our class. He will have dinner with Bai Wuxi's parents tonight. This cheap father-in-law and mother-in-law will return to their hometown tomorrow. Bai Wuxi's family of 3 have been waiting for him in the community. It's not good to break the appointment now. Dormitory socializing is not a particularly urgent and important matter." Seeing that Li Yuan really had something to do and was not deliberately refusing, Lucia was silent and sighed helplessly, "Okay, I'll tell them that you have something to do. If you don't go, I'm worried." "Haha, Lao Lu, what about me has given you confidence?" Li Yuan laughed, "Besides, you are not going on a blind date, what's there to be afraid of, just having a meal. Hang up, I'm driving." On the other end of the phone, in the D-3223 male dormitory, Lucia and his roommates Wu Hao, Su Ziqiang and others looked at each other in bewilderment. Su Ziqiang suggested, "Well, Lao Lu, brother Yuan is not free, how about we change the date?" Lucia frowned, "I have already promised Wang Zhirong and the others. If we change the time at the last minute, she will definitely be angry." Wu Hao said angrily, "I always feel a little insecure when brother Yuan doesn't go. With brother Yuan here, we can walk sideways in school." Zhou Tianyu turned off the hair dryer, sprayed some gel water on his head, and snorted. "I say, you guys, can't live without Li Yuan? If he doesn't go, then he doesn't go. What's the big deal? Why are you nagging here? If you don't want to go, just say it as soon as possible. It's a pure waste of time." Lucia looked at Zhou Tianyu strangely. In recent days, this guy has been very irritable and angry. He explodes at any time and confronts whoever he sees. I don't know what kind of expired gunpowder he has eaten. He vaguely heard that Zhou Tianyu was chasing a girl recently, and it seemed that he was too unsuccessful, and he was discouraged and resentful. "Okay, I'll tell Wang Zhirong." Lucia smiled helplessly, went to the balcony of the dormitory, closed the door, and called Wang Zhirong. Wrong, I want to tell you something." Lucia was a little embarrassed. He boasted in front of Wang Zhirong. Wang Zhirong's voice came from the other end of the phone, "What's the matter?" Lucia coughed, Well, Li Yuan has something tonight and can't come. What? Li Yuan is not coming. What's wrong? Didn't you say that he must come tonight? Wang Zhurong's heart tightened, and a feeling of irritability surged in her heart. She has not given up the offensive against Li Yuan these days, and she is still trying to get close to Li Yuan every day. Today, after learning from Lucia that Li Yuan returned to the Magic City, she deliberately mentioned that the two girls should organize a social gathering. She was going to use another way to take Li Yuan down. As a result, Lucia promised repeatedly, but Li Yuan did not go temporarily. Then what's the point of this party? I prepared carefully. I took a shower, sprayed perfume, put on lipstick, put on full makeup, and even put on the black stockings I just bought. I've been preparing for so long, and you just say you don't want to go? Wang Zhurong's mentality exploded. Suddenly thinking of the secret information she got when she went to the finance college in the afternoon, Wang Zhurong hesitated in her heart. Should she use this trick? Maybe it will work and force Li Yuan to surrender. Lucia heard Wang Zhurong's bad tone and apologized quickly. Wrong, I'm sorry, but although Li Yuan can't come, everyone else in our dormitory is here. Before Lucia finished speaking, he was interrupted by Wang Zhurong unceremoniously. Okay, I know. Without giving Lucia a chance to speak, Wang Zhurong hung up the phone directly. Wang Zhurong was ashamed and angry when she thought of Li Yuan's humiliation of her. She just wanted to find a handsome and rich boyfriend. What's wrong with that? Why don't you even give me a chance? Li Yuan, no matter how you look at me, I must get you, and then kick you away to get my revenge. You pretend to be innocent in front of your classmates every day, and you pretend to be a big shot, but you still have several girlfriends. How can you be more noble than me? We are the same people. Since you like Xia's Haijin so much, you definitely don't want this secret to be exposed. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 242. Haha, you are not a gentleman, I don't believe you won't submit. Wang Zhurong cut off the last trace of hesitation in his heart and dialed Li Yuan's phone number. Li Yuan was driving his car to Feiqiuafu community. Suddenly the phone vibrated, and a strange phone number called. Hey, who are you? As soon as Li Yuan spoke, a familiar yet unfamiliar gentle voice came from the other end of the phone. Goddess, I am wrong. Are you in the Magic City now? Li Yuan was slightly stunned when he heard the delicate and gentle voice on the other end of the phone. He didn't remember who wrong was for a moment. Wrong? Sorry, I don't seem to recognize you. When Wang Zhurong heard Li Yuan's words, his mood exploded instantly. What does not know mean? Not to mention that we are classmates, I just send you various welfare photos every day. If you say you don't know me, who will believe you? Wang Zhurong suppressed the anger in his heart and continued to say, Writer Li, you are such a noble person who forgets things so much. He, I am Wang Zhurong, the big bear girl you call me. Hold the straw, Wang Zhurong. Li Yuan cursed, braked suddenly, and almost had an intimate kiss with the car in front of him. He didn't expect that Wang Zhurong would call him and tell him the nickname Big Bear Girl he gave her to his face. Li Yuan suddenly felt very guilty and felt a bit social. Think about it, you gave a female classmate in college a very silly nickname, and then the other party knew about it and said it to you personally. How does that feel? Before Li Yuan came to his senses, Wang Zhurong's whispering voice came again. Writer Li, if you want that, it's not impossible. I've already washed it, sprayed it with nice perfume, and wore your favorite black stockings. I'm waiting for you tonight, can you come? Li Yuan was confused. What kind of talk was this? Are you so hungry? He couldn't help complaining, Wang Zhurong, what kind of plane are you doing? Wang Zhurong deserves to be experienced in many battles and is a surfing expert. Although he didn't understand the meaning of what kind of plane, he could roughly guess it. She snorted and asked with a half-smile, "Writer Li, that's what you said just now, hold the grass, Wang Zhurong. I promised you, will you come?" Li Yuan was really convinced by Wang Zhurong's thinking. This dirty joke was even more powerful than him, which made him feel ashamed. "Haha, I'm not free tonight. Just tell me what you want to do." Wang Zhurong was accustomed to Li Yuan's indifferent attitude and continued to speak in a coy tone, "I'm not free tonight, what about another day?" "Let's talk about it another day," Li Yuan said subconsciously. As soon as he finished speaking, he realized something was wrong. Sure enough, Wang Zhurong immediately pursed his lips and snickered, his tone a little more happy. "Okay, let's make it a deal and talk about it later. But, male god, should we agree on a time? I'm afraid you'll forget it." Li Yuan was speechless. He was too lazy to argue with Wang Zhurong and play word games. He was not in the mood or had the time. "Wang Zhurong, what are you trying to do by calling me?" Wang Zhurong snorted, "Goddess, people still like you to be called Big Bear Girl." Li Yuan sneered, "If you don't say anything, I'll die." "No, no, no, my male god, why are you so cruel to others? They just want to have a few words and chat with you, my male god." After Wang Zhurong finished speaking, seeing Li Yuan not speaking, he felt panicked and continued to speak. "My god, I want to invite you to a dinner tonight. Are you free?" No time. Li Yuan didn't bother to say more, hung up the phone and muttered, "You're so stupid. I really don't understand. There are so many outstanding boys in Daxia University, why are they targeting me?" Just as Li Yuan hung up the phone, his phone started to vibrate again. He took a look at the caller's number, and it was still from Big Bear Girl. Li Yuan frowned and pressed the answer button. "If you have anything to say, just say it." Wang Zhurong, who was on the other end of the phone, felt his teeth itching with hatred. He knew that it was useless to talk about it. Since he didn't want to eat the fragrant, big, white, and soft ones, he had no choice but to eat the hard ones, and threw out Wang Jia directly. "Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi." After Wang Zhurong said these two names, he sneered in his heart and waited for Li Yuan's reaction. Li Yuan was shocked when he heard these two names from Wang Zhurong. He wanted to say something, but fell silent again. Since Wang Zhurong already knows these two names, it means that she knows more. He had already expected this kind of thing, but he didn't expect it to happen so quickly. Sure enough, if you want to get information about a person, you can't hide it no matter what you do. "Wang Zhurong, tell me, what do you want to do?" Wang Zhurong's body trembled when he heard Li Yuan's indifferent tone, and he was suddenly frightened. He was quickly snuffed out by her, still speaking in a coquettish tone. "My god, I don't mean anything to you. I just want to chat about life and dreams with my male god, and have a loving breakfast together when we wake up." "Goddess, you won't even be willing to meet this small request, right?" Li Yuan frowned. This was the first time in his life that he had encountered such a girl. He didn't want her, so he forced her to get her. He muttered in his heart, "Mad, you are such a big bear girl, you are beating around the bush, you are not coveting my body. It's a pity that I am the man you can't have." Li Yuan wanted to reject Wang Zhurong directly, but then he thought that the time was not right now. After experiencing Zhong Tingyu's incident, Bai Wuxi soon realized that they hadn't figured out how to deal with the two besties. If Wang Zhurong brought the war to Xiaozhaijin, it would be a complete explosion. Li Yuan said calmly, "Wang Zhurong, I am a scumbag. It's useless to threaten me with this kind of thing. Just tell me what you want." Wang Zhurong said with a smile, "My male god, I like scumbags like you. I won't ask you to be responsible. I just want to exchange learning experience with you from a negative perspective. My male god, my card skills are very good. You don't mind having another card friend, do you? Wang Zhirong said so bluntly that Li Yuan naturally understood. Since the other party rushed to offer it and had his handle, and he needed time, there was no need to say it firmly now. Okay, wait a few days, I'm very busy recently. Wang Zhirong thought Li Yuan agreed, and was overjoyed in his heart, and hinted coquettishly. My male god, I used to cosplay a lot, I can dress like a maid, a nurse, or a rabbit girl. My male god, I can make whatever you like. Li Yuan's heart was moved, and he looked at Wang Zhirong with a new eye. This big bear girl played so much, and she was admitted to Daxia University. She can only be described as gifted. Comparing with others makes people depressed. He also studied hard every day in high school, but in the end, if he hadn't picked up a loophole because of his rebirth, he would still be a long way from the 985 Daxia University. Thinking of this, Li Yuan felt the importance of learning talent. Efforts are really not worth mentioning in front of talent. Li Yuan perfunctorily replied, then wait, I will take the initiative to find you when I am free. Wang Zhirong replied shyly, my male god, I hope that day is not too far away. I miss you so much that I can't sleep every day. Every night, I can only fall asleep peacefully when I fantasize about playing poker with my male god. Damn, this big bear girl, is she really sick, Li Yuan muttered in his heart. He was really impressed by this female demon. She actually took him as a target for SY, which was simply. Li Yuan felt his scalp tingling and a little panic in his heart. He was not afraid of thieves stealing, but afraid of thieves thinking about it. What's more, this big bear thief was thinking about his kidneys, which was even more terrifying. Li Yuan really couldn't understand what Wang Zhirong's mentality was and why she had to play poker with him. Although his physical fitness was very strong, and it was confirmed when he competed with the instructor in push UPS during military training, there were also athletes with stronger bodies than him. Feeling helpless, he could only say calmly, I know, I have something to do now, I'm hanging up. After that, Li Yuan hung up the phone directly, with a layer of clouds on his face. He didn't like being threatened, even if the person threatening him was a female college classmate, and the reason for the threat was unbelievable. She just wanted to play poker with him. On the other end of the phone, after Wang Zhirong hung up the phone, a smug smile appeared in the corner of her eyes. Haha, little guy, I don't believe that this girl can't take you down. Wang Zhirong thought about the secret news she had heard from the finance college. Li Yuan bought sports cars worth millions for Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi. A few days ago, when Zhong Tingyu drove a Porsche 911 around the school, it caused a big sensation. Until now, there are still posts discussing it on the school's forum. The Porsche 911 sports car is her ultimate dream that is out of reach. Wang Zhirong originally thought that Li Yuan's monthly income of 1 million was already beyond everyone's imagination, but she didn't expect that he would be so generous and buy sports cars for his two girlfriends at the Finance Institute. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 243. Moreover, she also heard that Li Yuan had bought several houses in Shanghai, and Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi often did not go back to the dormitory to rest. As long as she could play poker with him, and rely on her own efforts, as long as she could make Li Yuan happy, it would not be impossible for him to pay for a sports car. Li Yuan, just wait and fall under my pomegranate skirt obediently. After the real communication, you can feel the joy of being with me. I can give you what they are embarrassed to give you. Wang Zhirong has already imagined the scene of driving a sports car and living in a mansion. Although her family background is ordinary, her vision is not low, and she sees more clearly than others. If she wants to live in a mansion and drive a luxury car in Shanghai by working hard, there is no possibility at all. As long as she is with a rich man, there is a glimmer of hope. And can those old men with big bellies compare with the handsome, rich, generous, young, and strong Li Yuan? There is no comparison at all. At this time, Fang Yani came over dressed up and asked in confusion, Wrong, you are so happy, is Li Yuan going too? In their girls' dormitory, or the entire computer class, there is no one who doesn't know that Wang Zhirong is chasing Li Yuan. Even in the dead of night, she heard Wang Zhirong calling Li Yuan's name emotionally. Wang Zhirong smiled and shook her head, Li Yuan, he has something tonight, so he won't go. Fang Yani was even more anxious and confused. Li Yuan didn't go, why are you so happy? She didn't dare to ask in depth. Have you contacted them? What time do we go? This is the first time they have been in college and the first social gathering of male and female dormitories. These young and ignorant girls are very nervous and looking forward to it. There are usually more than 40 people in the computer class, and boys account for 2/3. The dormitory with the highest quality of boys is recognized to be 3,223. Needless to say, Li Yuan is a talented man with a monthly income of 1 million yuan, but he is already in a relationship. They dare not think about it, and only Wang Zhirong is still naively holding unrealistic fantasies. In addition to Li Yuan, Zhou Tianyu is not tall, but he is very handsome, and his family is a rich second generation. The most important thing is that he has no girlfriend, and he is the second target in the hearts of some girls who think they are good looking. In addition to Li Yuan and Zhou Tianyu, Lu Jia is very tall and can play basketball. Although his appearance and family are average, he is also the best choice for ordinary girls like them. Wu Hao is also about 1.8 meters tall, with a decent appearance and the temperament of a northern man. He is also quite suitable to be a boyfriend. After knowing that Li Yuan would not go, Wang Zhirong's expectations for this dormitory social gathering were greatly reduced, and she was particularly looking forward to a private appointment with Li Yuan. Tonight, I have dressed up carefully, and I can't waste it. Well, I've contacted you. I'll call Lu Jia first. When Li Yuan drove to the Feiqiu mansion community, it was around 6 o'clock in the evening. As soon as I got off the car, I saw Bai Wuxi standing downstairs, looking around and waiting. When she saw Li Yuan coming, she ran over excitedly, rushed up, gave Li Yuan a big hug, and kissed him on the face. Hubby, why did you come back just now? I miss you so much. Li Yuan looked at Bai Wuxi's happy, sweet, and dependent smile, rubbed her long black hair with his hands, and smiled, there are a lot of things at the company, and it's delayed for a while. Where are uncle and aunt? Are they upstairs? Bai Wuxi looked at Li Yuan affectionately, hugged his arm tightly, and answered with a smile, yes, my parents are waiting for you, and they have prepared a surprise for you. Li Yuan was slightly startled, there is a surprise. Yes, my parents are very particular. Bai Wuxi thought of what her parents said in the past few days, and a blush climbed up her cheeks. She was just a freshman, and they were already discussing getting married in the future. Li Yuan was really a little surprised, and his heart suddenly became more expectant. The two went upstairs and entered the elevator. As soon as the elevator was opened, Yang Jinyu was already standing at the door to greet them. Xiao Li is back, come in quickly. Li Yuan smiled and called out, Auntie Yang. Yang Jinyu smiled and said, you must have been hard on the business trip these days, right? Li Yuan smiled and replied, not bad, it's not hard to fly. Bai Wuxi smiled and replied, Li Yuan, my mother knew you were back, and she prepared a big meal for you. Yang Jinyu smiled and said, it's just some home-cooked dishes. We'll cook them at home tonight. Then I'll trouble Auntie Yang. Li Yuan was touched when he saw this. After entering the house, Bai Tiankai had already stood up to greet him, and smiled and said hello to Li Yuan. Yang Jinyu winked at Bai Tiankai, and Bai Tiankai hurried back to the room, took out a gift box, and handed it to Yang Jinyu. Yang Jinyu took the gift box and handed it to Li Yuan with a smile. Xiao Li, this is the first time that uncle and aunt meet, and we didn't give you any gifts. This is a jade guanyin that your uncle Bai and I asked for. I hope you don't mind it. As he said that, he opened the exquisite gift box, in which lay a crystal clear white jade guanyin. At first glance, it should not be cheap. Li Yuan was a little flattered and thanked, Uncle Bai, Aunt Yang, you are too polite. Yang Jinyu smiled and said, take it, they are all our children. I hope you and Zixi will be safe in the future. Li Yuan took the gift box and said, then I will accept it. Thank you, Uncle and Aunt. Yang Jinyu was relieved when she saw Li Yuan accept it. It was her first time meeting her future son-in-law, and she and Bai Tiankai discussed for a long time what gift to give back. According to the custom in her hometown in northern Anhui, the son-in-law should give back a red envelope when he first comes to visit. But it was obviously inappropriate to give a red envelope to Li Yuan, and Li Yuan was not short of money. They inquired for a long time, and Yang Jinyu even secretly contacted her family members before going to a famous Buddhist temple in Hangzhou and spending 20,000 to 30,000 yuan to ask for a jade guanyin. Xiao Li, you just came back from a business trip, take a rest first, and chat with Zixi. Your Uncle Bai and I will prepare dinner. After Yang Jinyu finished speaking, she winked at Bai Tiankai and pulled him towards the kitchen. After her parents left, Bai Wuxi raised her snow-white neck, stared at Li Yuan with a smile, and said in a tender voice, Li Yuan, are you touched? This is the jade guanyin that my parents drove to Hangzhou to ask for. Li Yuan was slightly stunned. He thought it was just bought from a jade shop in Shanghai. You went to Hangzhou specifically? Bai Wuxi smiled and nodded, yeah, my mother said that the one in Hangzhou is very effective, so she drove there overnight to ask for it. Hee, my parents care more about you, the future son-in-law, than me, their daughter. Li Yuan was moved. Looking at Bai Wuxi's smiling eyes, he suddenly felt a little panicked. Bai Tiankai and Yang Jinyu already regarded him as their future son-in-law. If Bai Wuxi knew the truth that he was cheating on multiple people, would his father-in-law come to kill him if they broke up? Fortunately, I bought a sports car for Bai Wuxi, and also bought cars and gifts for my father-in-law and mother-in-law. Even if things get out of control, they won't end up fighting, right? If there is really no effort, it will be in vain. With Bai Tiankai's daughter-slave personality, he may really impulsively do something bloody. Li Yuan thought of Bai Wuxi's roommates, who already knew that he had cheated on Bai Wuxi and Zhong Tingyu, and Bai Wuxi obviously didn't know anything about it. He asked indirectly, Xiao Bai, have you not been back to school recently? Bai Wuxi shook his head, no, I went to school on the day my parents came, and I have been in Shanghai and Hangzhou these days. Li Yuan smiled and thought to himself, I hope I can have a peaceful day tonight. But Bai Wuxi's next words made Li Yuan's heart relax again. Li Yuan, I saw the notice posted by UND on Chinese website. There will be an offline book signing event for you at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I want to go too. Li Yuan's heart was pounding. What he feared was bound to happen. If nothing unexpected happened, Xiao Yuer would definitely go to the offline book signing event tomorrow. If Bai Wuxi also went, wouldn't the two women explode instantly when they met? Chapter 164 Water Magic Research, New Book Signing Event. Li Yuan naturally would not agree to Bai Wuxi's request to go to the book signing event, but he could not refuse explicitly. He had to find a suitable reason. Xiao Bai, uncle and aunt will go back to their hometown tomorrow, won't you go and see them off? Bai Wuxi pursed her lips and chuckled, no need, don't we have the car you bought, they can just drive it home. Hee, husband, my dad has been driving the Mercedes you bought these days, Don't mention how happy he is, he almost praised you to pieces, he wanted to sell me, his biological daughter, and let me marry you right here and right now. Li Yuan's heart jumped suddenly. What kind of tiger and wolf words are these? You just got together, and you're thinking about marrying me? Marriage is the grave of love. I will never get married in this life. I can hold a wedding secretly, but I can't get a marriage certificate. We can hold many weddings, but you can only get one marriage certificate. He is a good citizen who abides by the law. Fortunately, I'm just a freshman, and there are still 4 years before graduation. If I continue to study for a master's degree, even if I'm urged to get married, it won't be a big problem, Li Yuan muttered in his heart. He was moved and thought of another excuse. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 244. Xiaobai, my uncle and aunt are going back to their hometown. You can go back with them to buy some more things. Specialties from the Magic City, such as clothes and shoes. Please be respectful and filial. It will not be easy for them to raise you. Bai Wuxi chuckled, rolled her eyes at Li Yuan, and hummed, you don't need to tell me, I have bought all the things you have been on a business trip for the past few days. Hee, hubby, I swiped your bank card. Li Yuan really didn't pay attention to the bank card reminder text message. The bank card he gave Bai Wuxi had a monthly limit of 50,000 yuan. As long as he didn't buy luxury goods, it was enough and he could stop it at any time. Li Yuan smiled and didn't bother to make any more excuses. Bai Wuxi just knew it. Anyway, one more person wasn't much, so he didn't care. Mainly because of Zhang Xiao's side, it's not easy to explain. Xiao came back from the imperial capital tonight. Husband, Zixia said she is also in the Magic City. Where do you live? I want to meet her. Bai Wuxi looked at Li Yuan expectantly. She had already taken him to meet her parents. As her future daughter-in-law, she should also meet Li Yuan's family. For some reason, there was always a faint worry in her heart. If it were Li Yuan before, he would definitely tell her that her sister had also transferred to Shanghai to go to school. But since the end of the college entrance examination and Park's confession, Li Yuan has not taken the initiative to tell her many things. Even the usual chats and contacts were initiated by her. In the past 2 nights, she often chatted with Li Zixia, just to get closer to her. Li Yuan already knew that Li Zixia and Bai Wuxi were chatting 2 days ago, and the chat was quite lively. Although he doesn't know, what can a college student and a high school student have to talk about? Is there no generation gap? He thought that Li Zixia, a silly little girl, had already told Bai Wuxi her address, school, etc., but he didn't expect that she was quite strict, which surprised him. Now, Xia's Haijin often lives in Jingxia Villa and accompanies Li Zixia. If Bai Wuxi goes there and the 2 girls meet, I don't dare to imagine the scene. The sweet and obedient treasure girl will probably be very, very sad. Li Zixia lives in Jingxia Villa, not far from Jade Mansion. I will take you to see it when I have time, Li Yuan replied calmly, and thought of a way. I'll take you to see Zixia first tomorrow. Bai Wuxi felt happy, hugged Li Yuan's arm, and nodded quickly, really? That's great. I haven't met Zixia yet. She must be very cute. Li Yuan smiled and said, you will know when you meet. Bai Wuxi looked at Li Yuan shyly and asked, hubby, when will my uncle and aunt come back? Li Yuan pretended not to understand and asked, I don't know, why are you asking? Bai Wuxi held Li Yuan's arm and said coyly, I just want to ask. I'm afraid my uncle and aunt won't like me. By the way, hubby, what are your uncle and aunt's hobbies? What do you like to eat? Li Yuan chuckled, does hobbies and making money count? Bai Wuxi was stunned for a moment, then rolled her eyes at Li Yuan shyly, hubby, you are making so much money, it would be great if your uncle and aunt just enjoy the blessings. My family used to be very poor. My parents ran a small business in the Northeast, and it was very hard to make money. As Li Yuan was talking, he suddenly thought that all the money his parents had worked so hard to earn in his previous life was used by him to pretend to be a rich second generation and to be Bai Wuxi's licking dog, and he suddenly lost interest in continuing the conversation. Forget it, let's not talk about this anymore. My parents prefer hard-working people, preferably those who can cook. You can learn more if you have nothing to do. Li Yuan smiled and said, he knew that Bai Wuxi couldn't cook, she was the only daughter in the family, and she was especially loved by Bai Tiankai and his wife. Bai Wuxi's cheeks burned slightly when she heard that Li Yuan's parents liked girls who were diligent and good at cooking. She had never cooked since she was a child. Well, hubby, although I didn't know how to cook before, I will definitely study hard in the future and try to make my uncle and aunt like it. Li Yuan touched Bai Wuxi's head and smiled non-committally. It would not be bad if Bai Wuxi could really work hard to learn to cook for herself. He has paid, and the other party has to pay too. It is best to train her to be a very obedient wife and mother. If she gives birth to twins for him in the future, it will not be in vain to renew the relationship with her. Otherwise, it would be better to take first blood and get rid of it when you get tired of it. But that kind of behavior was a bit too scumbag, and he felt a little guilty inside. At least, Bai Wuxi has never done anything to regret him in this life. While chatting, Yang Jinyu and Bai Tiankai had already prepared the meal. Xiao Li, 11:11, it's time to eat. Here we come, Li Yuan responded strangely in his heart. This was obviously a house he bought, but why did he act like a guest? At the dining table, Bai Tiankai opened a bottle of Maotai, poured it for Li Yuan, and said with a smile, Xiao Li, my drinking capacity is average. I have to drive back to my hometown early tomorrow morning, so I will drink less tonight. Li Yuan was ashamed. He had drank a lot recently, and the sight of white wine made him feel nauseated. Uncle Bai, I don't like drinking liquor either. I don't usually drink. Tian Tiankai looked at Li Yuan deeply. He had already experienced Li Yuan's drinking capacity, so naturally he would not persuade him to drink. Okay, let's just drink whatever we want. Yang Jinyu was also constantly picking up food for Li Yuan. Xiao Li, it's time for you to grow and work hard day and night, so you need to eat more. Come on, let's try the braised pork ribs fried by Auntie. Thank you, Aunt Yang. Li Yuan listened to his mother-in-law's favor. When she said the words work day and night, he always felt that she had a special meaning. Li Yuan ate a piece of braised pork ribs made by Yang Jinyu. The taste was unexpectedly good, better than ordinary meals, with a sweet and sour taste. Yang Jinyu asked expectantly, Xiao Li, how does it taste? Li Yuan smiled and nodded, Aunt Yang, it tastes great. It's better than what's made in star-rated restaurants. After getting Li Yuan's approval, Yang Jinyu breathed a sigh of relief, and his charming face was filled with smiles. By the way, Xiao Li, I heard from 11:11 that your parents also moved to Shanghai, Yang Jinyu suddenly asked with a hint of meaning. Li Yuan didn't quite understand, so he nodded and explained, they went back to their hometown to build a house. In a few days, my mother will come back to take care of my sister in school. Yang Jinyu glanced at her daughter who was holding rice with her head down, and smiled and said, 11:11 has been spoiled by your uncle and me since she was a child. She is clumsy and can't speak. You should talk to her more often in front of your mother. Nice words. Li Yuan finally understood. It turned out that he was waiting here because he wanted to take Bai Wuxi to meet his parents and gain their approval. At this time, Li Yuan could only nod in agreement. Aunt Yang, Uncle Bai, don't worry, my parents are very talkative and will definitely like Xiao Bai. Yang Jinyu was even more satisfied, looked at Li Yuan, and said with a smile, that's good, we just have this daughter. Your Uncle Bai has been a treasure to you since she was a child. If there is anything wrong, you must tolerate each other and occasionally lose your temper, as long as you coax it. Mom, stop talking. Bai Wuxi's face turned red with embarrassment. This scene now felt like discussing marriage. She had obviously just fallen in love. Yang Jinyu smiled and said, okay, let's not talk anymore, let's eat quickly. After drinking and eating, Li Yuan made an excuse and ran to the study to code. As soon as I logged into QQ, I saw that editor Xin Kong had already sent a message. Xin Kong, Xiahua. Don't forget tomorrow's book signing. Our company has invited reporters from Shanghai TV station to interview you. I will send you the interview outline now, so you can prepare the content of the interview in advance. Li Yuan replied okay, received the document, and looked at the interview outline sent by Xin Kong, and he already had a rough idea. As a positive publicity report for Yuandian Chinese website, the company has also made great efforts this time to prepare Li Yuan to be a leading figure in the new generation of young writers of online literature, so as to increase his popularity and stimulate the craze of online literature. Li Yuan muttered to himself, tomorrow's interview may be on the financial news channel in Shanghai, but I have to prepare the manuscript in advance to avoid getting stuck or overturning, which will be embarrassing. Before preparing the interview script, Li Yuan sent another message to his sister Li Zixia. Li Zixia, tell me what good thing you did. Shivering JPG, brother, what's wrong with me? Who asked you to add Bai Wuxi privately? She will come to Jinxia Villa community to find you tomorrow morning. Go and deal with her. Ah! Brother, isn't this good? Sister's Hyjin is here too. What if they run into each other? You are stupid, you won't tell your sister-in-law's Hyjin in advance, find a reason to put her away, use your pig brain. Huh, stinky brother, someone is helping you, but you still call them stupid. Come on, Li Zixia, you have to solve the trouble you caused yourself. Remember, don't screw it up for me. I will coax your sister-in-law Wei 11 to get better tomorrow. I agreed to your request last time. Hey, brother, just leave it to me. Sister, don't worry. I promise to help you coax sister-in-law Wei 11. Well, that's it, I still have to code. It's not easy to make some money. Yeah, come on, my favorite good brother, thank you for your hard work. After finishing the chat with Li Zixia, Li Yuan browsed QQ space for a while. The number of messages was increasing every day. More than 100 people visited his QQ space every day. Zhong Tingyu and Zhang Ziyu were both online. Xiao Yuer, who used to send him messages frequently, did not send him messages tonight either, which surprised him. Thinking that he would see her tomorrow, Li Yuan did not take the initiative to send a message to Xiao Yuer. His current attitude towards Xiao Yuer is to let things take their own course, without taking the initiative or refusing. The main reason is that he is really powerless and careless now. Li Yuan watched for a while, casually replied to a few messages from his high school classmates and Lucia and others, and then began to devote himself to the great cause of coding. This book Fighting Starry Sky has been serialized to 1.2 million words. According to the record of the completed book, it must be at least 5 million words long. It is still far away. According to the current speed, it will take nearly a year to write. According to the contract between him and Wanji Company to sell the game copyright, the book must be completed normally and the word count must be no less than 3 million. Of course, he didn't want to become a bad guy or a eunuch, even though he is now a billionaire. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 245. Li Yuan opened the stock website and took a look. The share price of Biguandi, which he bought a few days ago, continued to rise rapidly. Today, it rose by about 40%. In just less than 3 days, because of the investment of the stock god, the stock of Bigwandi he invested in has more than doubled, with a net profit of 20 million, and it is still rising rapidly. Li Yuan just took a look and lost interest. The market value of the stock is very virtual. It may be a billionaire the day before, and a billionaire the next day. The change is so fast. He just wants to take advantage of this favorable wind, make a small profit and withdraw. This time, he can make a small goal of 100 million. He can invest in fruit stocks. After the iPhone comes out, the share price of the fruit company will soar. If you are ready to make a little money, it is not bad to open a fruit store. Li Yuan smiled. He didn't care about this sweetness. After getting the first pot of gold from sports lottery, it is too easy to make money with the memory of the previous life. When the developed games are put on the market, the speed at which he spends money is hard to match the speed at which he makes money. Just like the richest tomato said, money is like reproduction, the more it grows, the more it reproduces, and it can never be spent. When you have 100 million in cash, you can earn 2 to 3 million in interest alone at the deposit interest rate in 2008. When you have 1 billion, it is 30 to 40 million. If you don't find a few more girlfriends, buy luxury cars and mansions, eat big meals, and spend a lot of money, you can never spend it all. The happiness of the rich is unimaginable to ordinary people. In the future, when new media is highly developed and live broadcasts such as Douyin and Kuaishou become popular, the consumption world of the rich will begin to appear in front of ordinary people. Therefore, he is very generous to his girlfriends Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi, and Xiaz Haijin, hoping that after the Shuro field, the other party can think of his goodness. If he really didn't buy a Porsche 911 for Zhong Tingyu and didn't want to give her a gift, her mother would probably not let him into her house at all. Society has always been so realistic. You have no money, or you are reluctant to spend money, why would a beautiful girl follow you, let alone be willing to share feelings with other girls, and accept that you are cheating on multiple women? There is true love, of course, but that is only a very small number of two-way rushes. Do you really try to cheat? It took about half an hour for Li Yuan to prepare the interview manuscript, read it carefully from beginning to end, and nod it secretly. In his previous life, he was in the system and wrote a lot of official materials. It was easy to do, much easier than writing novels. It's a bit too polite, not passionate, and youthful. That's right, my mental age is already over 30 years old, although sometimes I am still very naive, like when I was reborn and talked to Bai Yueguang, but after all, I have experienced a lot and can't write that kind of youthful and passionate words. Li Yuan took a look and found no obvious mistakes. It was just standard, so he didn't care about it anymore and started to write. The manuscripts in stock are getting less and less. Now the new ones he writes every day are not enough for him to post, and he has begun to use up the manuscripts from before. Sure enough, women only affect the speed of making money, it's absolutely true. In the blink of an eye, it was already around 11 o'clock in the evening. In the bedroom, Bai Wuxi had already washed up, wearing silk pajamas, and after her parents fell asleep, she tiptoed to Li Yuan's study. She hugged Li Yuan from behind and rubbed his shoulders. Bai Wuxi shyly said with concern, "Husband, it's so late, you can rest." Li Yuan turned over and grabbed Bai Wuxi, pulled her into his arms, and spoke with a sly smile while playing ball. "Why, are you so impatient, waiting to study new positions with me?" Bai Wuxi's cheeks flushed, and she lay in Li Yuan's arms, whispering shyly, "Husband, I haven't seen you for several days, so I just want to hug you." Li Yuan raised Bai Wuxi's chin playfully, stared at her affectionate eyes, and joked, "Really just want to hug? Nothing else?" Bai Wuxi hummed lightly and answered seriously, "I just want to stay with you, hug you, and chat with you, is that not okay?" Li Yuan laughed, "Okay, of course, don't write shitty novels, it's more important to do business. If you want to have multiple girlfriends at the same time, you must have an indestructible kidney, like a perpetual motion machine, not only for a long time, but also for a fast recovery. If you don't cultivate your own land diligently, when it is abandoned, others will take advantage of it, sow seeds from other people's land, and grow green seedlings. Although he just exchanged card skills with Xia's Haijin in the office in the afternoon, it was already 11 o'clock in the evening. He had recovered to his peak condition a few hours ago. If he hadn't been worried that Baiwaxi's parents hadn't slept yet, he would have gone out long ago. This time, he was so immersed in it that time passed quickly, so fast that Baiwaxi couldn't hold on and took the initiative to come to the study to seek comfort. Baiwaxi whispered in Li Yuan's ear, "Husband, go take a shower first." Li Yuan's eyes lit up, hugged Baiwaxi, and smiled mischievously, "Xiaobai, let's study water magic together." Baiwaxi asked in confusion, "Husband, what is water magic?" Li Yuan smiled and explained softly in Baiwaxi's ear. Instantly, Baiwaxi's face flushed red, and she punched Li Yuan's chest. "Stinky husband, you are so bad, I like it so much." In the bathroom, the sound of the stream of the shower, mixed with the strange sound of pa pa pa, lasted for nearly an hour, and occasionally Baiwaxi could be heard chanting the spell of water magic. "Husband, this water magic is so difficult to learn, and the various spells are difficult to recite." "Everything is difficult at the beginning, as long as you learn more and practice more. Water magic is also a large category of many magic systems, with a wide range of uses, and is widely welcomed by magic lovers. With your IQ that can be admitted to a 985 university, it is not so difficult to learn the spell of water magic." "Easy." But water magic requires higher physical fitness." "Xiaobai, didn't you practice dancing before? It's a piece of cake for you. Let's try another way." Husband, you are right. Water magic is really interesting." "Xiaobai, this house is a bit small. The bathroom is too small. It is not suitable for practicing various water magic. When we change to a bigger house, the effect of water magic will be better." "Hubby, this house is already very good. Do you want to change to a bigger one?" "Well, I have this plan. After a while, when I make a little more money, I will change to a bigger house. Then we will go and see it together." "Hubby, don't put so much pressure on yourself. You are already it's great." "What do you mean by great?" "I'm average at making money, but I'm okay at studying magic, right?" Yang Jinyu, who was already asleep in the next bedroom, opened her eyes in confusion. "Hey, is this the sound coming from the bathroom? Who took so long to take a shower? It's almost an hour. Could it be, silly girl and Xiao Li? Being young is good." She just listened carefully and understood the source of the sound. She spat. This time, she skipped the step of eavesdropping and went straight into bed. The next morning, after another morning exercise, Li Yuan looked at the sleepy Baiwaxi, said hello to Bai Tiankai and his wife, and drove away directly. After returning to Jinxia Villa, Li Yuan returned home and prepared to change into formal clothes and get a haircut. Today he was going to be interviewed and on TV, so he had to dress handsomely and be a delicate sunny boy. Li Yuan entered the house and found that Xia's Haijin was not at home. Only Li Zixia was still sleeping in bed. "Li Zixia, where is your sister's Haijin?" Li Zixia rubbed his eyes and saw that it was Li Yuan. He said strangely, "Brother, didn't you tell me to go to see Sister Waxi today?" "I told Sister's Haijin, and she got up early in the morning and left and went back to your school." Li Yuan nodded. "How old are you, and you still sleep in? It's already 8:30 in the morning. Get up quickly and clean up the house." Li Zixia hummed reluctantly, "Humph, I know, you will use underage labor." Li Yuan was too lazy to pay attention to her. This sister was almost spoiled by him recently and became much more lively. Before coming to the Magic City, she was more obedient, diligent, and cute. After a simple wash, Li Yuan put on an Armani suit and took the key to the Lamborghini. Zixia, spend some quality time with your sister-in-law Wixi today. I'm going to get busy. Li Zixia was wearing pajamas, looking at the well-dressed Li Yuan with sleepy eyes. Her eyes suddenly lit up and she sighed. Brother, when did you buy this outfit? It looks really handsome when you wear it. Li Yuan looked at himself in the dressing mirror and nodded with satisfaction. He asked Zhong Tingyu to pick this outfit for him when they went shopping together. Among the 4 girls with whom he had a close relationship, Zhong Tingyu had the best taste, except that he didn't go shopping with Xiao Yuer. The clothes she picked looked very elegant. Brother, you are so handsome, are you going on a date with other girls again? Li Zixia asked suspiciously. You already have 2 super beauties, Sisters Haijin and Sister Wuxi, so you don't have other sisters-in-law, do you? Li Yuan smiled awkwardly and rubbed her hair hard. Li Zixia, you are so awesome that you even want to control me, your brother. Li Zixia stared at her philandering brother seriously and sincerely advised, Brother, you have sisters Haijin and Sister Wuxi, which is really enough. Can you stop being so philandering? I dare not fall in love in the future. Li Yuan raised his eyebrows, glared at her, and said seriously, at such a young age, you actually want to fall in love? You'd better not fall in love for the rest of your life. An unwanted old girl, stay with your parents all your life. Li Zixia nodded, Brother, you used to be my perfect idol, but now you are a scumbag, I don't believe in love anymore. From now on, you will support me. Okay, I will support you and raise you into a 200-pound fat pig. Li Yuan looked at his sister's increasing weight and couldn't help reminding her. Li Zixia, you are much fatter than when you were in your hometown, you can lose weight, learn from your sisters-in-law, who have much better figures than you. Stinky brother, what do you know? Li Zixia's face flushed, rolled her eyes at Li Yuan, and ran into the bedroom. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 246. Li Yuan felt puzzled. He took his newly bought sunglasses and an LV men's bag, got off the elevator and came to the parking lot. Looking at this Lamborghini that had been covered in dust for several days, Li Yuan was eager to try it. Compared with the BMW X6, there was nothing that could compare with the Lamborghini except that he could test the shock absorption performance of the car more. Li Yuan was just about to start the engine when he suddenly glanced at the Porsche 911 sports car next door, which was also quite eye-catching in the underground garage. Looking at Zhong Tingyu's sports car, Li Yuan shook his head. He didn't know if Zhong Tingyu could understand and accept this reality. The engine roared, Li Yuan wore sunglasses, drove the Lamborghini, and closed the window, attracting many passers-by. Even when waiting for the traffic light at the intersection, there was a narcissistic lady who came up to ask for contact information. Li Yuan took a look and was far behind Zhong Tingyu and the others. He decisively refused and ran away with a whoosh. The new book signing event was held in the building where Yuandian Chinese Network was located, and the scene was quite grand. When Li Yuan arrived, many readers were already watching. Chapter 165. Oh no, the vest was exposed, and the book fans became song fans. In front of the large square on the first floor of Tianyu building, Yuandian Company had set up a huge curtain. It was engraved with information about the book and author of Battle Starry Sky, as well as advertisements for Yuandian Chinese Network and Fangzheng Publishing House. The red carpet was laid out and the stage was set up, which seemed very grand. Before Li Yuan arrived, some book friends and university classmates in the reader group had already rushed over to watch. Because, in advance, Li Yuan had talked about the situation of this new book signing event in the Alliance Leader Group, V Group, and other groups, and Yuan on Chinese network also announced it on the website and various channels, so there were many book friends who came today, as many as hundreds of people. Many readers did not know each other and began to communicate in various book friend groups. I am short of books and I need to recommend a book, brothers and sisters, has Xiahua come? I am studying in Hangzhou and I didn't have time to see him live. If any kind-hearted person, please don't forget to post the handsome photo of Xiahua. Warm sun after the storm, at where is born like summer flowers? We have been waiting for half an hour. We finally have a chance to meet in person. Xiahua won't be afraid to come, right? I just like the simple text, oh my god, Nuanyang is also here? Who is you? I am also waiting at the entrance of the square. I am wearing a black Adidas t-shirt. By the way, who in our group has seen Xiahua? Is he handsome? Warm sun after the storm, I just have nothing to do today, so I came to see him. I just like the plain text. I'm wearing a white Nike sportswear and carrying a backpack. I'm standing in front of the door. Oh, I see you. I just like the plain text, oh my god, I finally met Nuanyang offline. Nuanyang is so handsome. I'm almost gay. Disgusting, vomiting JPG, go away, I want to be with Nantong Nuanyang after the storm, I love to eat cilantro. Cilantro has met Xiahua several times in private. Come out and tell us if Xiahua is handsome or not. Quickly release the photos. Books are scarce and ask for book recommendations. Hey, have you noticed that Cilantro hasn't said much in the group these days? Normally, she is very active. She is also the group manager of our alliance group. In the past, when we posted pictures of CC and keyboard politics, she would criticize us. These days, she didn't ask. I feel a little strange. Tianshan swordsman, brothers, it can't be that Xiahua and Cilantro, did they have a fight? Does anyone know the inside story? I don't know who told me that they are already together. Menyi Muj, well, I've heard about it before. Xiahua is a freshman, and Xiang Cai is also a college student. They are both in Shanghai. Xiang Cai also went to Xiahua's school to meet him. They must have dated before. As for what's going on now, I don't know. Stephen Fenfen, hearing you talk about this gossip, I remembered something. A few days ago, I saw a video on the internet that was posted by a Shanghai University student. Singing video. There is a man and a woman singing together. They seem to be the original songs Su Yan and Confession Balloon. I don't know if you have heard them. They are very popular songs on QQ Music and Qzhou Music. I see that there are many comments below saying that these two songs are written by a very young great writer, who wrote the lyrics, composed the music and sang them himself. He is a student from another school and gave them to his girlfriend when he went to Jida to meet her. I remember that Zion K said in the group before that Xiahua had written a song for her. Do you think there is a possibility that the video these two songs were written by Xiahua, and the singers are Xiahua and Xiang Cai? Menyi Muj, I've also heard those two songs and watched the video of the Jida welcome party. What Fenfen said can't be true, that pair of handsome guys and beautiful girls are really Xiahua and Xiang Cai. Those two very nice songs were also written by Xiahua. Tianshan swordsman, I'm in a state of confusion. What videos and songs are you talking about? Why haven't I seen or heard them? How good looking are Xiahua and Xiang Cai? Stephen Fenfen, are you an alien? Search the internet for No Makeup and Confession Balloon. They are videos from the Jida New Year party. The footage is not very clear, but you can watch it. A pair of handsome guys and beautiful women came out. I read the comments below, which sounded a bit like they were talking about Xiahua. If you want to listen to the song, you can just listen to it on QQ Music. The sound quality is not very clear, but the rhythm is still very good. Nuan Yang after the storm, everything will become clear when I see Xiahua Dada. By the way, if these two songs are really written by Xiahua Dada, then Xiahua Dada is too talented. Why would he write novels and make his debut directly? Isn't it great to be a star? Just with these two songs, you can become a popular singer and debut in a group with Miss Xianke. Tianshan Swordsman, I just listened to Su Yan. I have to say that this song is really well written. The rhythm and rhyme are very to my liking. I like listening to it very much. If it is really written by Xiahua, then he is too. You must be talented. Not only can you write novels so well, but you can also write songs, compose music, and sing. I'm really looking forward to the new book signing meeting soon, but it's a pity that I can't go now. Don't forget to take more photos of the scene. Nuanyang after the storm, no questions. To be honest, I also really want to know if Xiahua and Miss Xianke are really in love. Did he write these two songs? Brothers and sisters, if really, when the time comes, we will make a fuss together and let Xiahuada sing a song for us live. Shuhuang asked for book recommendations. It sounds very interesting. I really want to fly to the scene right now, but it's a pity that it's too late. I just like the little white text. Hey, if it's true, we'll make fun of it together. If it's not, forget it. Stephen Fenfang, big guys at the scene, don't forget to take more photos and videos. Menji Pastoral, Ad 1. At the entrance of Tianyu building, Lucia looked at the huge poster of Battle in the Starry Sky and felt very envious in his heart. He couldn't stop praising it. Tisk, tisk, Brother Yuan's card is really big. There must be hundreds of people at the scene. I even saw the car of the Magic City TV station. Could it be that Brother Yuan is still going to be on TV? That's Brother Yuan, the most popular and youngest internet writer at the moment. It's not normal for him to have some cards. Wu Hao nodded in agreement. He looked at Wang Zhirong, who was looking around, and asked curiously in Lucia's ear. Lao Lu, what's going on between you and classmate Wang Zhirong? Is there any new progress? Why is she here with Fang Yani today? Lucia shook his head in confusion. I don't know, I don't even know where she heard the news, and she came here today. Suzuki-yang stared for a long time, but didn't see Li Yuan, and asked doubtfully, Brother Yuan, why hasn't he come yet? It's already past 9:40, and it officially starts at 10 o'clock. Shall we call Brother Yuan and ask where he is? Lucia quickly signaled, don't call and ask, wouldn't there be no surprise if you ask? We brothers must give Brother Yuan a big surprise today. Wu Hao asked again, by the way, why isn't Brother Yuan's girlfriend here? Lucia subconsciously replied, which girlfriend of Brother Yuan are you talking about? Wu Hao replied speechlessly, who else could it be? Of course it's Xia's Haijin from our class. She is Brother Yuan's real girlfriend. Lucia smiled and said nothing. He knew a lot of inside information, and he was not sure that Xia's Haijin was Li Yuan's real girlfriend. Just wait a minute. Brother Yuan's thighs are so thick. We must hold him tightly. We'll wait for him to take us flying in the future. On the other side, only 7 or 8 meters away from Lucia, Wang Zhirong and Fang Yani were also whispering. Wrong, why aren't Li Yuan here? What's so interesting about this book launch? I want to go to the comic exhibition next door, Fang Yani shouted speechlessly. Wang Zhirong's eyes showed anticipation. The reason why she came to the scene today was because of the agreement she made with Li Yuan on the phone yesterday. Moreover, she had already found out that Xia's Haijin returned to the dormitory in the morning and did not follow Li Yuan to the scene. This was a great opportunity for her and she must seize it. Otherwise, as time goes by, Li Yuan, a playboy, may forget what he promised himself last night. While readers and fans of Battle of the Stars and Lucia, Wang Zhirong and others were talking about it, they were waiting. Suddenly, a brand new sports car stopped in front of Tianya building. Damn it, whose Lamborghini is so handsome? Lucio looked at the sports car parked not far in front of him and couldn't help but exclaimed. He had studied various models a lot, and he could tell at a glance that this model was the symbol of Lamborghini. Wu Hao and others couldn't help but look sideways, secretly envious of the sci-fi and stylish appearance of the car in front of them. This is a Lamborghini? There is such a huge gap between people. When will I be able to drive a sports car like this? Lucia smiled and said, it's simple, just climb to the top of the building and jump down. There is no hope in this life. If you get a good pregnancy in the next life, maybe you will. Suzuki-young also said with emotion, Lao Lu is right. If you don't have this kind of sports car when you are born, there is a high probability that you will never have it. With our salary after graduation, it is too difficult to buy a supercar. My dream is to buy a house in Shanghai and get a BBA, and that will be enough. Wu Hao sighed with emotion, buying a house or a car is not easy. Housing prices in Magic City have risen again recently. On the other side, Wang Zhurong and Fan Yani also cast their eyes over, revealing envy. This sports car seems to be a Lamborghini. Li Yuan bought a Porsche sports car for his girlfriend in the finance college. I want it too. No, no matter what, I must seize the opportunity today. Once the opportunity is lost, it will never come again. Facing the eyes of the people around him, Li Yuan looked at Lucia, Wu Hao and others in front of him, with a smile on his face. He lowered the car window, put on sunglasses, and looked at Lucia, Wu Hao, Suzuki-young and others. Lucia was envious in his heart, and saw the window of the Lamborghini 6 or 7 meters away from him opened, and a boy wearing sunglasses was smiling at him. Looking at the other person's appearance, he felt a familiar feeling in his heart. Lucia asked with a puzzled look on his face, Hazi, Xiaoqiang, this rich second generation who drives a Lamborghini, why does he look familiar and keeps smiling at me? Wu Hao also frowned and said, he looks a bit familiar. Why do I feel that he looks a bit like Brother Yuan? He just wears sunglasses. You two are talking about Li Yuan, Suzuki-young said in shock, no way, when did Brother Yuan buy a Lamborghini? This car must be worth millions. Brother Yuan can't have used all the royalties he earned in the past few months to buy a sports car. Just as the three were whispering, Li Yuan smiled and took off his sunglasses and greeted Lucia and the others. Lao Lu, Hazi, Xiaoqiang, what are you mumbling about? Following Li Yuan's voice, Lucia, Wu Hao and others saw Li Yuan. No way, it's really Li Yuan, when did he buy a Lamborghini? Too cool, I thought it was some rich second generation, but it turned out to be Brother Yuan. Brother Yuan's appearance was so cool, so handsome, so cool, it's simply beyond description. The three of them were shocked, their eyes widened, and they ran over with exclamations to greet Li Yuan. Wang Zhurong and Fan Yani, who were watching quietly from the side, also saw Li Yuan in the Lamborghini, and their bodies trembled suddenly. Wang Zhurong was fine, knowing that Li Yuan was a super rich second generation. Since he could buy a Porsche sports car for his girlfriend in the finance college, it was normal for him to buy a Lamborghini for himself. Fan Yani, who was beside her, was too shocked. She only knew that Li Yuan was writing online novels and could earn $1 million a month, but she didn't dare to think that Li Yuan would buy such a cool Lamborghini supercar. When they spoke, they were a little hesitant and didn't dare to speak loudly. Wrong, is that really Li Yuan in that sports car? Am I dazzled? Wang Zhurong's excitement was hard to suppress, and his tone was full of desire. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 247. Yani, your eyes are not dazzled. That's Li Yuan. Look at Lucia and Wu Hao, they all came over to say hello. It's really Li Yuan, It's a bit unbelievable, Fang Yani muttered to herself in shock. She suddenly understood why Wang Zhirong was pursuing Li Yuan so much that he even wanted to betray him. It would be great if she could become Li Yuan's girlfriend, as it would satisfy all the vanity of their girls. Luxurious house, luxury car, tall, handsome, versatile, he is simply the perfect male god. If we really want to be together, even if we break up in the future, we can still brag about it. I am the woman of fruit, Li Yuan. Thinking of this, Fang Yani looked a little shy and asked in a low voice, Wrong, should we go over and say hello? Wang Zhirong smiled and nodded, pulling down his clothes, revealing his snow-white shoulders and career line as deep as a ravine. Well, when I see my classmates, I naturally want to say hello. Brother Yuan, it's okay. When did you buy the Lamborghini? It's so cool. When we first came here, our eyes were attracted by the supercar. We thought it was some rich second generation. It turned out to be Brother Yuan. This pen is installed. I give it 99 points, one more point. Afraid that you will be proud. Sixth brother, Mouse, Brother Yuan is a self-made rich generation, and there is still a generation gap between him and the second rich generation. Lucia, Wu Hao and Su Ziqiang were lying in front of Li Yuan's Lamborghini, talking in shock, touching this and that, wishing they could sit on it immediately and try the pushing feeling of a supercar. Li Yuan smiled and asked, Why are you here today? Lucia chuckled, Brother Yuan, you are our adoptive father. If you are pretending to be cool here, we are not allowed to come and support you. Wu Hao echoed, That's right, Brother Yuan. After dinner yesterday, Lao Lu talked about today's book signing event in the dormitory. Tianyu said he was busy and didn't come, and Ajing went to the library part-time these days. Here are the three of us who have nothing to do. While several people were chatting, Wang Zhirong and Fang Yani, dressed in exquisite clothes, came hand in hand and brought a scent. Wang Zhirong looked at Li Yuan, licked his lips, his eyes looked longing, and said with a smile. Writer Li, Yani and I are here to cheer you on today. Are you surprised or surprised? Li Yuan joked, Two classmates, you are not surprised, but you are really shocked. Wang Zhirong was stunned for a moment, then thought about it and realized what Li Yuan meant. It was a hint about what she said when she called him last night. Great talent, Li, there will be a real surprise soon, and it will definitely satisfy you. Lucia asked curiously, Wrong, what surprise have you prepared for Li Yuan? Fang Yani felt strange when she saw Lucia calling Wang Zhirong so intimately. She glanced at Li Yuan and Wang Zhirong again, smiling to herself, this was really a love triangle. If Lucia knew that Wang Zhirong called Li Yuan's name every night in his sleep and dreams, and would wear various sexy clothes from time to time and take photos and send them to Li Yuan, he would be so angry that he would vomit blood on the spot. Wang Zhirong glanced at Lucia indifferently, if you say the surprise, it won't be a surprise anymore. Li Yuan raised his eyebrows and looked behind the car through the rear-view mirror. There were already several cars following him, but unexpectedly they didn't honk their horns. He couldn't help feeling that when driving a luxury car like Lamborghini, even the passers-by around him became polite. I won't tell you anymore. I'm going to park the car. When Li Yuan was chatting with Lucia and Wu Hao, he didn't know that not far away, someone had used a camera to secretly take a photo of Li Yuan taking off his sunglasses and sitting in a Lamborghini, and sent it to Do. In the leader group of Battlestar Sky. Nuanyang after the storm, I just took a few random photos. Who do they look like? Shuhuang is asking for book recommendations, damn it, Lamborghini, what kind of car is this? It looks so cool, it must be worth millions, right? This is the rich second generation that Mr. Nuanyang knows. The rich people in Magic City are really many. Menji Pastoral, I only recognize the logo of this car, but I can't tell which model of Lamborghini it is. Anyway, it must cost at least 4 to 5 million. I really want to buy one, but it's a pity that I don't have the money. Stephen Fenfen, hey, why are you all paying attention to the car? Shouldn't the focus be on the people in the car? Have you noticed that this person and the person in the Jida video I just mentioned are the same person? Do you know what this means? Tianshan swordsman, are you telling me that this rich second generation driving a Lamborghini is Xiahua Dada? Stephen Fenfen, it's true, Xiahua Dada is really the great talent who wrote No Makeup and Confession Balloon. By the way, are we considered book fans or fans? I really want to hear Xiahua Dada live. Saying Confession Balloon. Menji Muj, in this case, the beautiful girl in that video is the boss of Zionke. She is really talented and good looking. No, Xiahua is also very handsome and stylish. Tianshan swordsman, brother Nuaniang, and other brothers who are here, you must ask Xiahuada to sing a song live later. I really want to hear it. After the storm, Nuaniang said, no problem, I made an agreement with a few of them. There are quite a lot of book friends at the scene. In total, there must be hundreds of people. It is guaranteed to surprise Xiahua. The book signing is about to begin, so let's not wait until now. I told you, I'm going to take pictures. Li Yuan parked the car and met with the editor-in-chief Xin Kong, Wu Wenhui from Origin Chinese Network, a reporter from Magic City TV station, Magic Capital Founder Publishing House, and others. Wu Wenhui walked towards Li Yuan with a smile and stretched out his hand. Xiahua, we meet again. Mr. Wu, nice to meet you, Li Yuan greeted politely. Wu Wenhui smiled and introduced a female reporter next to him who was wearing formal clothes. She looked to be in her 20s, quite pretty, and looked like an urban white-collar worker. Xiahua, this is reporter Fang from Shanghai TV station. I will give you a live interview in front of many readers in a moment. The female reporter looked at Li Yuan deeply, with a strange look in her eyes. Li Yuan's youth, appearance, and clothing were all beyond her expectations. Hello, Xiahua, my name is Fang Jueking. Li Yuan smiled and stretched out his hand. Hello, Sister Fang. Nice to meet you. Please be merciful for a while. Fang Jueking heard Li Yuan call him Sister Fang and chuckled, feeling even more surprised. Xiahua, you have a sweet mouth and a sense of humor. Wu Wenhui pointed to a middle-aged man in his 30s and introduced him. Xiahua, this is Mr. Zheng from Fang Zheng Publishing House in Magic City. Hello, Mr. Xiahua. Zheng model looked at Li Yuan and said with a smile, Mr. Xiahua, you are truly worthy of being a top student, with great literary talent and versatility. I hope we can have more cooperation in the future. Li Yuan also smiled and shook hands. Thank you, Mr. Zheng. It's just my luck. Zheng Momo smiled lightly and said, a young genius who can write books and songs is not just something that can be summed up by luck. Li Yuan was a little surprised. He didn't expect that the other party even knew about his songwriting. Although he had no intention of hiding it and couldn't hide it, ever since he and Xiao Yu sang on stage at the Jida New Year party before the National Day holiday, it would become popular sooner or later. But Zheng Fanmo knew it, and he obviously investigated carefully. Li Yuan suddenly felt a chill on his back. Many of the things he was doing now, in the eyes of some people, might not be able to hide at all. Including starting a company, selling copyrights, and even having several girlfriends at the same time. Fang Jueking was a little surprised when she heard this. She looked at Zheng Kaimo with her beautiful eyes and asked curiously, Mr. Zheng, Xiahua also wrote a song. Zheng model explained with a smile, well, brother Xiahua is really a super talent. He wrote 2 pop songs, which are very popular on the internet. My daughter is still a fan of Xiahua. Seeing the confused looks on their faces, Zheng Momo continued to joke, speaking of which, my daughter is still a fan of Xiahua. I came here with a mission today. Wait a moment and I'll return it, please sign it for me. Li Yuan looked embarrassed. Fang Jueking on the side asked curiously, Xiahua also writes songs, Mr. Zheng, can you tell me which one it is? I listen to songs every day, maybe I have heard it too. Zheng Momo smiled and said, one is called Essence of Makeup and the other is called Confession Balloon, right, Xiahua? Li Yuan touched his nose, nodded, and replied modestly, well, I did it casually to make you laugh. After hearing these two songs, Fang Jueking was stunned, covered his mouth, and exclaimed, I listened to these two songs last night, and they were actually written and sung by you yourself, Xiahua. That girl who sang with you, is Xiahua your girlfriend? Li Yuan smiled awkwardly, well, we can be considered very good friends. Fang Jueking pursed his lips and snickered, hey, I also watched the video of you singing together. I don't believe you if you say she's not your girlfriend. Xiahua, you are so talented. Before I came here, I thought you only wrote books. I didn't expect you could also write songs. By the way, Xiahua, I'm taking the liberty to make a suggestion. Don't be offended. Sister Fang, please tell me. I think the two songs you sang can be re-recorded in the recording studio and the effect will be better. The video taken at that time has some noise. Li Yuan was speechless. He was not a professional singer, and Xiao Yuer was not interested either. Why was he so professional? Ahem, we will consider it. Xiahua is really well hidden. Wu Wenhui glanced at Li Yuan with emotion. This young man who had just turned 18 had just sold the copyright of the game Fighting Stars a week ago and made 5 yuan. 10 million. In the blink of an eye, I became a music composer who could write lyrics, compose music, and sing. The change was so fast. Wu Wenhui checked the time, it was already 10 o'clock, and coughed, well, it's almost time. The readers are all waiting. Let's go there. In order to attract traffic and build awareness, the stage for book signings was placed in the square in front of Tianyu Building. Li Yuan, Wu Wenhui, Zheng Kaimo, Fang Juexia, Xin Kong, and others took the stage together and came to the stage covered with red carpet. As soon as Li Yuan took the stage, before he could say anything, he heard someone shouting loudly below. Xiahua Dida, here comes a song, I want to listen to Su Yan. Xiahua Dida, let's sing a song of Su Yan Live, I really like it. Xiahua Dida, I want to listen to Confession Balloon, I came here from Sioux City specifically to hear you sing. After someone started booing, hundreds of readers in the audience were naturally die-hard fans of Li Yuan since they came to the book signing event. Some people already knew about Li Yuan's vest, while some fans were confused. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 248. No, I'm a little confused. Isn't today a new book signing event? Why do I feel like it has turned into a concert? Out, right, I just got the latest news. Xiahua not only writes novels, but also songs. The very popular Nu Yan and Confession Balloon are written by him. Chapter 166 Xiao Yuer Sad Diary, TV interview. As the readers spread the news, hundreds of readers in the square knew the situation in an instant. This is a big news. Xiahua is not only a novelist, but also a singer. Not only a singer, but also a musical genius who writes lyrics, composes music, and sings. I listened to the song Nu Yan several times. It's really nice and I like it very much. Confession Balloon was also written by Xiahua. I just learned this song yesterday and used it to successfully confess to my girlfriend. My girlfriend also asked me who sang this song and wanted to go to her concert with me in the future. Stop talking nonsense, everyone, hurry up and shout together, let's get the place excited. Please ask Xiahua to sing a song live. Yes, what are you reading? Let Xiahua sing a song, let's work together to turn the book signing event into a concert. College classmates such as Lucia, Wu Hao, and Wang Zhirong who were watching from the audience were also stunned after hearing the news from the people next to them. Lucia couldn't help but burst out with a swear word, no way, Confession Balloon is a song written by Li Yuan, isn't it sung by a girl? And Su Yan, I listened to it yesterday morning, and I felt that the voice was a little familiar at the time, but I didn't expect it was Brother Yuan's voice. Who is the girl who sang with Brother Yuan? Is it the beautiful Hanfa Beauty? Lucia asked a series of questions, and his face turned into a question mark face. Wu Hao was also stunned with shock, looking at the fans around him who were shouting enthusiastically, and he admired Li Yuan very much. I couldn't help but mutter, "Damn, I want to report it. I suspect Brother Yuan is cheating. This is too awesome. We are not from the same world. We are all freshmen. How can he be so awesome? It's beyond imagination." Su Ziqiang looked at the suave and handsome Li Yuan on the stage, and envied him. He secretly made up his mind that he also wanted to write online novels. It's a pity that Brother Yuan often doesn't go back to the dormitory, so I don't have a chance to ask him for advice. Wang Zhirong was listening to the cheers on the side. She just knew that Li Yuan could not only write novels, but also songs. While she was shocked, she suddenly had a bold idea. Since Confession Balloon was written by Li Yuan and sung by a girl, it means that the relationship between the two is very unusual. Could it be that this is also Li Yuan's girlfriend in another school, just like the girl from Xia University's School of Finance? The more Wang Zhirong thought about it, the more possible it was. She just heard that Li Yuan and that girl sang together at the welcome party of Jida University. If they were not close, no one would believe this. So, Li Yuan is not only two-timing, but also 3 or 4-timing. Then it won't be a problem if I am one more person, the chances are even greater. Fang Yani listened to the deafening shouts around her, pulled Wang Zhirong's arm, and widened her eyes. Wrong, Li Yuan is really amazing, he is really talented. Wang Zhirong nodded, stared at the sunny, cheerful, handsome, and stylish Li Yuan on the stage, and answered with a smile. Of course, this is the man I, Wang Zhirong, like. On the stage, Wu Wenhui, Zheng Kaimo, Fang Jueqing, and others, listening to the cheers from the audience, all had a very strange feeling in their hearts. Today was clearly a new book signing event held by their company, but how did it become a concert? However, as a senior executive of the company, Wu Wenhui has seen many big scenes, and he picked up the microphone tactfully and spoke with a smile. Good morning, dear readers. I heard your cheers, and the atmosphere was so warm that I was a little nervous. To be honest, I just found out that Xia Hua is not only a good writer, but also has such a deep attainment in music. As Wu Wenhui spoke, the cheers at the scene gradually weakened, and everyone looked at Li Yuan with expectation. Since everyone is so looking forward to it, let's give the stage to Xia Hua now, and let us welcome the most popular best-selling author on the internet this year with the warmest applause. As soon as Wu Wenhui finished speaking, warm applause broke out from the audience. Li Yuan took a step forward, raised the microphone in his hand, and looked at the dense crowd of nearly 500 or 600 book friends and passers-by who were watching the excitement, and suddenly felt a little nervous. In his 2 lives combined, this was the first time he spoke in front of so many people. It was even more nervous than the interview for the civil servant in his previous life. Li Yuan spoke slowly. I am flattered and ashamed by your applause. As soon as Li Yuan opened his mouth, the audience immediately fell silent, with hundreds of pairs of eyes waiting expectantly for his speech. Writing or songwriter is just a personal hobby. There are many book friends who are more talented and capable than me. No matter what, I have to express my sincere gratitude to all the book friends present, as well as other book friends who have not come and have been supporting Xia Hua. Thank you for your support along the way, which has given me, an ordinary freshman, the opportunity to stand on this stage and meet you all. Thank you very much. In our lives, from the babbling of infants and young children to 10 years of hard study, or entering university, or directly entering society, we will experience various hardships and challenges more or less. On this special day today, I would like to share a sentence with all readers and friends. Don't forget your original intention, keep your dream in mind. The road is long and obstructed, but you will reach it if you keep going. No matter what kind of setbacks and difficulties we encounter in the future, no matter whether life is ups and downs, we must always believe in ourselves, and one day, we will see the rainbow after the clouds are cleared. Before Li Yuan finished speaking, thunderous applause rang out at the scene, which lasted for a long time. After the applause died down, Li Yuan smiled and spoke again. Today is the first paper book of Battle Starry Sky, and the day of the new book signing. Here, I would like to thank Yuandian Chinese Network for giving me this platform, thank Mr. Wu and Starry Sky Editor for their support from the beginning, and thank Mr. Zheng of Magic City Anyway Publishing House for his great help with this book. As Li Yuan spoke, he felt much more relaxed and no longer so nervous. He smiled and said, "As for the singing session that everyone is looking forward to be honest, I am thin-skinned and tone-deaf, and my singing alone is very average. The most important point is that today, there is still a lack of a good friend who is very important to me. Without her by my side, I really don't have the confidence, so I won't make a fool of myself here. Thank you everyone." Li Yuan was really in no mood. He had secretly looked around, but still didn't see Zhang Ziyu appear on the scene, and suddenly felt a sense of loss in his heart. With Xiao Yuer's personality, as long as she was in Magic City, she would definitely come to the scene unless there was something extremely urgent. Last night, Xiao Yuer had returned to the Magic City. A few days ago, she told him that she had been looking forward to this day. Li Yuan had a vague feeling of unease in his heart. Although he didn't know what happened to Xiao Yuer, he could roughly guess. There was only one possibility, that Xiao Yuer didn't show up at this occasion, and didn't call him, chat, or share life encounters as usual. Xiao Yuer already knew that he was dating several people. As soon as Li Yuan finished speaking, the book friends and some song fans in the audience were immediately unwilling and began to make a loud noise. "Xiahua, please sing a song, we want to listen to the song. Xiahua, please sing a song, we want to listen to the song. Xiahua, please sing a song, we want to listen to the song." The collective shouts of hundreds of people were extremely magnificent. Some employees and passers-by in the Tianyu building stopped and looked sideways, curiously watching the situation here, and more onlookers gathered at the scene. In a corner, Zhang Ziyu listened to Li Yuan's words and burst into tears unconsciously. Tears were like strings of pearls, sliding down her flawless white cheeks. Looking at the figure on the stage that she missed day and night, Zhang Ziyu's heart was about to break. Obviously, she was very close, and if she just stood out, she would receive a hug from him. But she, who was once fearless in the ignorant love, retreated today. A person, standing alone in a dark corner, crying sadly alone. "Brother Xiahua, I'm sorry, I don't want to share this love with other girls. I just want all your feelings for me, and I don't want anything else. I can give it to you. Why, I obviously like you, I can do anything, but now I'm backing off. Brother Xiahua, what should I do now? I really don't want to lose you, I really want to be with you forever." Zhang Ziyu muttered to herself, tears wet her face, and she seemed to be unaware. After returning to the Magic City last night, her mobile phone showed evidence that Li Yuan and Xia's Haijin, Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi were together. She, who has always been lively and cheerful, suddenly became confused. She didn't know what the meaning of her so-called persistence and waiting was. Once, she naively thought that she was already in love with Li Yuan. Since July, they met because of an online novel. They chatted online every day and shared interesting things in life. Although most of the time, she was the one who talked and Li Yuan was the one who listened, but because she was ignorant, she also liked the shy feeling of youth and looked forward to meeting him in reality one day. After the university started, She learned from the book Friends group that Li Yuan came to Shanghai to study, so she couldn't help but check Li Yuan's author information and came to Daxia University to give him a surprise. The meeting that day made her fall in love with Li Yuan, a handsome and talented boy, from the bottom of her heart. And when Li Yuan wrote the song Confession Balloon and sang it to her, she was completely conquered. Every night, she missed him, wanted to chat with him, wanted to meet him, and wanted to stay with him. The day of the welcome party at Jida University was her happiest day. With her beloved, she listened to the singing of the summer breeze on the playground and played the guitar. Li Yuan was singing and she was composing. Under the attention of all the teachers and students in the school, she sang a song Confession Balloon to express her deep love. Li Yuan came on stage to sing Nu Yan with her. They kissed each other romantically in the sports car. Scenes after scenes appeared in my mind. Zhang Xiao's crystal tears rushed out of her eyes full of thousands of thoughts. Brother Xiahua, I really like you so much. I like the novels you wrote, the songs you wrote, the way you smiled, the way you learned to play guitar from me, the songs you taught me, and every minute and every second I was with you. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 249. Brother Xiahua, since I met you, I only have you in my heart and I only like you. But, why can't you just like me? Whatever you want, as long as I have it, I can give it to you, including myself. Brother Xiahua, am I being selfish? I want to keep you to myself. I'm sorry, Brother Xiahua, I feel really uncomfortable right now. I just want to cry alone. Zhang Xiao looked at the confident and high-spirited Li Yuan on the stage with blurred eyes. How much she wanted to rush out, applaud him, cheer for him, stand beside him, hold his arms, smile at him, and tell him, I am willing to sing with you. But after knowing the truth of the matter, she realized that she actually didn't even have the qualifications. Li Yuan didn't even say that she was his girlfriend on the stage. If the three of them were at the scene, Brother Xiahua would probably admit it. Xiao Yuer, I really feel sorry for you, Zhang Xiao murmured to himself, and as he spoke, his tears fell down like a broken thread. Li Yuan looked at the book friends in the audience, feeling a little disappointed and speaking in a heavy voice. Dear friends, please be quiet for a moment and continue with the next session. As a cheap host, Wu Wenhui smiled jokingly at Li Yuan and said, Xiahua, the response from the friends present has been enthusiastic. Are you really not going to sing a song? Li Yuan shook his head with a smile and looked carefully at the field again. He still couldn't find Xiao Yuer. He sighed in his heart and shook his head helplessly. Now that he has become a scumbag, he has no idea how to explain it to the innocent, lively, brilliant Xiao Yuer. Not mentioning Xiao Yuer's family background, but just talking about the others' feelings for him, Xiao Yuer has been the most passionate of the four girls from beginning to end, showing no reservations to him and willing to devote herself to him. To put it bluntly, Xiao Yuer is a silly love brain. And this girl with a brain for love is also extremely white, rich, and beautiful. She was the first alliance leader of the book he wrote, the first Silver Alliance, the first Gold Alliance, and she also gave him a sports car worth millions. She talks about Brother Xiahua every day, she is a girl with eyes full of herself. But he paid the least to Xiao Yuer. Apart from writing 2 songs for her, he didn't do anything else at all. Even the time he spent with her was the least among the 4 girls. He refused again and again. He accepted her request to come to Daxia University to accompany him. And Xiao Yuer's devotion to him was the most among the 4 girls. Li Yuan could only say silently, I'm sorry, Xiao Yuer. On the stage, Wu Wenhui held up the microphone and continued to introduce with a smile. Friends, Our origin Chinese website has specially invited Magic City TV station to conduct an exclusive interview with Xiahua today, to learn about some of the wonderful stories Xiahua encountered on her creative journey, and to share some of her creative experience. Now, let us warmly welcome Fang Jueqing from Shanghai TV station. Fang Jueqing stood up and said hello to the hundreds of book friends sitting in the audience. Dear friends present, as a fan of Xiahua, I, like you, regret not being able to hear Xiahua's wonderful singing. As soon as Fang Jueqing finished speaking, the book friends below began to boo again and burst out with strong shouts, asking Li Yuan to sing. Li Yuan just smiled slightly, sat there, and shook his head silently. Ahem, Xiahua, let's start the interview now. Fang Jueqing coughed and looked deeply at Li Yuan with some regret in her heart. She also wanted to attend a free concert. Li Yuan smiled and said, well, host, please ask. Fang Jueqing, Xiahua, I think all the book friends here want to know a question, that is, how did you remember to write online novels right after the college entrance examination? Li Yuan answered without thinking, because we like it. We have all heard the saying interest is the best teacher, but I think it is more appropriate to use another sentence, hobbies are the best companions. Haha, of course, friends, you have to be a serious hobby. I used to like to read some martial arts novels, such as Dragon, The Condor, etc. At the same time, I also like to think wildly. By chance, I wrote this novel, and I didn't expect that the results were pretty good. With the support of all the parents here, we have achieved some success. Li Yuan talked freely, but he actually didn't lie. Even in his previous life, he really liked writing novels. I like to express the random stories in my mind in the form of words. As for making money, it's just incidental. In his previous life, after he gave up on being involved in the big city, he returned to his hometown in the small county and took the exam to become a civil servant. Although he was not rich and powerful, he could still live comfortably. Anyway, he is alone and has no burden. One person is full and the whole family is not hungry. Fang Jueqing showed a professional smile and continued to ask, Xiahua, I still want to ask you a question. After you became popular, many traditional literature writers on the internet criticized internet literature, believing that internet literature is divorced from reality, has no literary value, and is not worthy of being called literature. Xiahua, what do you think? Li Yuan nodded. In fact, what they said is not wrong. Traditional literature and online literature are two completely different tracks. Traditional literature may be more educational. Online literature, or online novels, is more like a fast food, spiritual food, serving the majority of novel lovers. As for which is better, time is the best witness. The market and readers will make a choice. With questions and answers, the interview went on quickly. Because the manuscript was prepared in advance, Li Yuan answered fluently, and they were all official and formulaic, without any particularly explosive topics. Soon, the interview was over. Fang Jueqing blinked her beautiful eyes, suddenly showing a little playful color, looking at Li Yuan, opening her pearly teeth slightly, with a spring smile. Xiahua, let me ask you a more personal question. May I ask, do you have a girlfriend now? After Fang Jueqing said this, the scene was instantly quiet. Hundreds of people in the audience were waiting for Li Yuan's answer, especially some female readers, who were very nervous and curious. Lucia, Wu Hao, Wang Zhirong, Fang Yani, and others were also very curious about how Li Yuan would answer in such a TV interview. Some book friends, such as Warm Sun After the Storm, who knew the relationship between Li Yuan and Zhang Ziyu, were also waiting for Li Yuan's response. Li Yuan glanced at Fang Jueqing, whose beautiful eyes had been staring at him. He suddenly had a strange illusion in his heart. He always felt that this female reporter, who was not bad looking, looked at him strangely. Of course, he might have made a common mistake that all men in the world would make, she likes me. Li Yuan glanced at the hundreds of readers in the audience. When he was about to answer, he suddenly swept his eyes and vaguely saw a familiar face. He was very familiar with this young and beautiful face. It was Xiao Yu'er, who he had just been talking about in his heart. Li Yuan was excited and stood up suddenly and looked in the direction of Xiao Yu'er, but when he looked over again, Xiao Yu'er had disappeared. When Fang Jueqing asked Li Yuan if he had a girlfriend, Zhang Ziyu couldn't help but come out to see how Li Yuan would answer. But she didn't expect that at that moment, the two of them seemed to have a telepathic connection, and their eyes met, and she retreated again. Zhang Ziyu's heart was beating like a deer, and she knew that Li Yuan must have seen her. Her eyes were red, and there were still traces of tears on her cheeks. She hid in the corner and continued to listen to Li Yuan's answer. On the stage, Li Yuan was quietly relieved after seeing Xiao Yu'er, and a smile reappeared on his face. Xiao Yu'er's coming proved that she still couldn't let go of herself in her heart, and it didn't mean the end. If Xiao Yu'er didn't come directly and treated him as a stranger, it would make him sad, and it also meant that the fate of the two people had ended. Scumbags are always so greedy. Li Yuan looked at the book friends who were looking forward to it under the stage, raised the microphone, smiled faintly, and his hearty voice spread throughout the audience. Everyone is concerned about whether I have a girlfriend. I can give you a definite answer. I have a girlfriend. She is here. It's just that for some reason, she doesn't want to show up. When Li Yuan gave such a positive answer, the most shocked person was not Lucia, Wang Zhirong and other college classmates who were familiar with Li Yuan, but Zhang Ziyu, who was squatting in the corner and listening silently. At this time, Zhang Ziyu's brain was confused, and only one voice echoed in her mind. Brother Xiahua, he publicly confessed to me. Since the two of them met, she has been waiting for this day. She has confessed to Li Yuan many times, whether in QQ messages, space messages, phone calls, or in reality. But she has never heard Li Yuan give her a clear reply. She didn't expect that Li Yuan would confess to her in such an occasion, in front of hundreds of book friends, and in front of the interview of the reporter from the Magic City TV station. The mood, like a roller coaster, instantly went from the lowest point to the peak. Zhang Ziyu turned from sadness to joy, and the two dimples on her cheeks were full of smiles. She looked at Li Yuan on the stage with her beautiful eyes. She suddenly wanted to rush out and give him a big hug on the stage. Fang Jueqing subconsciously glanced at the audience, but didn't find anything special. There were not many female readers on the scene, only about 20 or 30 people, and there might be some passers-by. Suddenly, Fang Jueqing's eyes caught a glimpse of Wang Zhirong in the crowd. Wang Zhirong was dressed very fashionably and sexy, with her shoulders exposed, dressed up in a gorgeous way, and her appearance was not bad. Could it be her? Fang Jueqing thought to himself. Fang Jueqing looked at Wang Zhirong, but only paused for a moment, then turned his head and looked at Li Yuan with a smile. Xiahua, if anyone can be your girlfriend, they will definitely be very happy. Of course, there may be a lot of troubles. After all, Xiahua, you are too outstanding and it is easy to attract girls. Just a joke. Today's interview will come to an end. Thank you everyone, thank you Yuan Chinese Network, thank you Fangzheng Publishing House, and especially thank you Xiahua for your support. As soon as the interview ended, under the instigation of some people, the scene suddenly rang out again. Xiahua, come on, sing a song enthusiastically. Li Yuan was very puzzled. Did he sing so well? These book friends would not deliberately make him look bad on the stage. The host Wu Wenhui coughed and interrupted the uniform shouting of the whole audience. The formal process of today's book signing has not yet been completed. The interview just given by Shanghai TV station is just the first step. Next, he will introduce the Origin Chinese website. We, Yuan Chinese Network, are committed to becoming the leader in the national online literature industry, providing an excellent, fair and just creative environment and platform for writers across the country, and providing a large number of high-quality books for readers. Wu Wenhui introduced the history and advantages of Yuandian Chinese network in an eloquent manner. The book friends in the audience were drowsy and whispering without any interest. Wu Wenhui took it for granted and kept smiling without changing his expression. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Zheng from Magic City Founder Publishing House to conduct a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the publication of Xiaohua's new book. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Can Ru Xiahua. Chapter 250. Let's welcome Mr. Zheng from Founder Publishing House with warm applause. There were few applause at the scene. Everyone was waiting for Li Yuan to sing on the spot. Their emotions had been completely mobilized by the cheers and inner curiosity. Zheng Kaimo came to the center of the stage calmly. There were already staff members who put the hardcover version of the first part of Battle of the Stars officially published today in front of the stage, covered with red silk engraved with the logos of Yuandian Chinese Network and Motu Founder Publishing House. Welcome all friends to come to the scene and participate in the new book signing event of Battle of the Stars jointly organized by Yuandian Chinese Network and Founder Publishing House. Next, let's invite Xiahua, Mr. Wu, reporter Fang, and Xin Kong to cut the ribbon for this batch of hardcover new books. Everyone, please come to the stage. Li Yuan smiled and walked forward, his eyes still searching in that corner, but Xiao Yuer seemed to have disappeared, but he was sure that Xiao Yuer had not left. After Zheng Kaimo finished speaking, background music sounded, and a staff member handed over a pair of scissors, and a photographer was taking pictures. As Li Yuan, Wu Wenhui, Fang Jueqing, and others put down their scissors and the red silk fell, this batch of hardcover books specially used for signing and selling was revealed for the first time. Dear readers, please go to the stage in an orderly manner to receive this batch of hardcover books. Due to the production cost, each book costs 50 yuan, please line up in an orderly manner. After Zheng Kaimo finished speaking, he smiled at Li Yuan and said, Please Xiahua, sign for all readers, thank you for your hard work. Chapter 167 Because I Just Met You, Li Yuan's passionate singing. All those who came to the signing event today were Li Yuan's die-hard fans. For the hardcover version of the first part of Battle Starry Sky worth 50 yuan, they all started to pay for it. Li Yuan sat at the table, and a female reader who looked only about 20 years old came to him happily and spoke excitedly. Xiahua, I'm your fan. I finally get to meet you. Li Yuan smiled and replied, Thank you for your support. The female reader seemed to be dazzled by Li Yuan's smile, and asked shyly, Xiahua, can you write a message for me on the book? Li Yuan smiled and nodded, No problem, write anything. Just write, I hope Gu Yunshu is happy every day, and has a peaceful and happy life. Li Yuan's handwriting is still good. When he was in a government agency in his previous life, he practiced calligraphy for a period of time when he was bored. Li Yuan wrote the sentence and signed his name. He felt very strange. He didn't expect that there would be a day when he would sign for others. Gu Yunshu took the book signed by Li Yuan as a treasure and exclaimed, Xiahua, your handwriting is really beautiful. It's just so-so. Don't praise me. I will be proud. Li Yuan smiled and replied. Gu Yunshu looked at the long queue behind him, looked at Li Yuan with a reluctant tone, and asked loudly. Xiahua, when the autograph session is over, will you sing? I really like to hear you sing No Makeup. Li Yuan glanced at the corner of the square, but Xiao Yuer had not appeared. He wondered if she had deliberately hidden. He could understand Xiao Yuer's feelings. If it were him, he would definitely do something more excessive. Li Yuan smiled bitterly and shook his head, sorry. Gu Yunshu looked at Li Yuan with regret, it's okay. I hope to hear Xiaohua's concert in the future. Li Yuan just smiled. He was not interested in holding a concert. As readers came to Li Yuan one by one, The on-site signing process was progressing rapidly, and the fans made various requests. Some, like the first girl Gu Yunchu, wanted to write a blessing, and some wanted to take a photo, but most of them asked him if he could sing a song on the spot, which made him very speechless. Suddenly, a voice that made his scalp tingle came into his ears, and at the same time brought a gust of fragrant wind, which made the air smell a little more perfume. "Brother Xiahua, it's my turn." Li Yuan smelled the fragrance and guessed who it was. He looked up and saw that it was indeed the big bear girl Wang Zhirong. She was wearing very sexy clothes today, showing her charming and sexy figure to the fullest. When she bent down and deliberately got close to Li Yuan, you could even see the deep ravine that could swallow the eyes of countless men. Li Yuan shouted in his heart, "Don't look at it if it's not appropriate." Wang Zhirong was challenging him to see if he was a man. He said speechlessly in his heart, "What are you guys doing here?" "My Mei, brother Xiahua, I'm also your die-hard fan." Wang Zhirong's fragrance and charming tone made Lucia behind him feel excited. When Li Yuan heard Wang Zhirong calling brother Xiahua in a delicate voice, he felt awkward. He couldn't help but recall the scene of Xiao Yu calling brother Xiahua in his mind. And this sweet girl who used to stick to him like an elf in the world was unwilling to appear in front of him today. Li Yuan sighed in his heart, frowned slightly, and looked at Wang Zhirong indifferently. "Classmate Wang Zhirong, don't call me like this in the future, just call me Li Yuan." "Brother Xiahua, why? I think it's very special and nice to call me like this." Wang Zhirong didn't understand what he meant, bit his lip, and continued to get closer to Li Yuan, almost melting his body into Li Yuan's body. Wu Hao, who was behind Lucia, whispered to Lucia, "Looking at this, Wang Zhirong still hasn't given up chasing brother Yuan. Lao Lu, what do you think?" Lucia curled his lips and touched his chin. "What can I think? If brother Yuan is willing, it's not impossible to be a fellow traveler with brother Yuan." Wu Hao was stunned at first, and didn't understand what people in the channel meant for a while. When he saw Lucia's strange smile, he thought of a possibility, widened his eyes, looked at Lucia in disbelief, and sighed. "Lao Lu, you are so arrogant. Who did you learn this driving skill from? You are so good at driving." Lucia patted Wu Hao's shoulder and whispered, "Mouse, I have understood a truth recently. Although we are not as talented, rich, and handsome as brother Yuan, we can also have specialties that brother Yuan does not have. Do you know what it is?" "What?" Wu Hao asked. Lucia patted his face and replied with a smile, "Shame on you. If you are thick-skinned and eat a piece of meat, a man who is not bad will not be loved by women. As long as you are thick-skinned enough, sweet-mouthed, and good at talking, you can mobilize the emotions of girls and provide emotional value for girls. You will definitely find a girlfriend, even if you change a few more. It is not impossible. This is called hiding your weaknesses and playing to your strengths. When chasing girls, you must play to your strengths and avoid your weaknesses, and show them your advantages." Wu Hao was stunned and looked at Lucia in confusion, and asked stupidly, "Sixth brother, where did you learn these heretical theories?" Lucia glanced at Wu Hao, and the corners of his mouth rose slightly. "Mouse, this is the true knowledge I learned from reading many love manuals recently. I will call it the 36 Strategies of Love." Wu Hao patted Lucia's shoulder and smiled, "He, Lao Lu, teach me when you go back. I also want to have a sweet love. Every day I see brother Yuan showing off his love, I cry with envy." Under Li Yuan's strong request, Wang Zhirong still changed her words reluctantly, threw a coquettish eye at Li Yuan, and spoke with hints. "Great talent, don't forget what you promised me last night. I can drink ice cola today, I'll wait for you downstairs." Li Yuan was speechless in his heart. He was remembered by the big bear girl, and she had a handle on him for the time being. Although, this handle may not be important soon. As soon as Wang Zhirong went down, Fan Yani also shyly held a copy of Battle Starry Sky and handed it to Li Yuan. The look she gave Li Yuan became a little special. Li Yuan, please sign for me too. Li Yuan did not have a deep impression of Fan Yani. She was an ordinary college girl, and could not be compared with the treasure girl like Xia's Haijin, the sexy big bear girl like Wang Zhirong, and the beautiful girl like Qin Yang Kaiu. Who makes most men and women have distinctive face animals. Li Yuan smiled and said, I'm sorry to have you spend money, but you only sign. Fan Yani suddenly became a little nervous. Well, how about you write a sentence? Okay, Li Yuan smiled and wrote a sentence directly. I hope that Fan Yani will become a rich woman who is loved by everyone in the future. Fan Yani looked at the sentence, glanced at Li Yuan shyly, said thank you in a low voice, and ran away quickly. Soon, Lucia, Wu Hao, and Su Ziqiang arrived. The three college roommates came to Li Yuan and flirted with him with winks. Hey, brother Yuan, I'm curious, who is the girlfriend you just mentioned on the stage? Li Yuan glared at Lucia. Old Six, are you a curious baby? You want to know everything. Hey, I'm just asking. Anyway, you are definitely not talking about classmate Xia's Haijin. I guess it should be the beautiful woman who video chatted with you that night. Lucia just finished speaking. Wu Hao also came up and sighed, Brother Yuan, when you were interviewed on the stage just now, that feeling was really domineering, just like a business tycoon. Li Yuan made a joke and said self-deprecatingly, get lost, I was actually very nervous. When hundreds of people shouted together, I was scared to tremble. Haha, who shocked everyone, you can also write songs. Brother Yuan, I see that most of the book friends have not left, do you want to sing a song later? Li Yuan shook his head, Su Yan is more suitable for male and female chorus. I don't have that feeling when I sing alone. Lucia has seen Zhang Ziyu. When he was off the stage, he looked around and did not see the other party. Brother Yuan, why didn't your girlfriend from Jida come? Did you get exposed for cheating on multiple women? Li Yuan glared at Lucia, the bad-mouthed man, and scolded him with a bad smile, bad-mouthed man, get down quickly, don't delay the real fans behind. Lucia shouted, Brother Yuan, you are not kind, I am also your real fan. I spent 50 yuan to buy the book you wrote. This 50 yuan is my living expenses for a week. This week I can only eat steamed buns dipped in Laogan Ma. Hurry up, sign for me, and write a sentence. Li Yuan was speechless. Come on, what to write?